My name is Brian Yawana, and I'm in Manhattan Branch, Lighthouse Chapel International. And yeah, this is my testimony. I was born in Lighthouse Chapel International, and I grew up my whole life in the church, but I didn't actually give my life to Christ genuinely until I was 13 years old at a Bishop Oko camp, at the time Reverend Oko, God of Our Fathers, I believe in 2008 or 2009. Yeah. And since then, I've been living a saved life. God has been good, and I did have my share of problems, my share of difficulties, as all Christians do. I remember once, like at the time, my senior year in high school, where I backslid, and I think that was the first time as a Christian I had backslid. I just got more involved with the things of the world. I think one of my talents is organization, and I started organizing a lot of things like school rallies and school projects, Diabetes Awareness Month, Cancer Awareness Month, all these different activities for school and stuff, and I just took my mind and my time off of God. And once that was off, it wasn't hard to start back, as it is backsliding, stop having my quiet time, stop praying, church on Tuesdays decreased, even Sunday crowd, you go and you want to leave, you're not into the thing you're doing. And I remember my shepherd at the time, well, still my shepherd, Sister Harriet, noticed it. She said, something is wrong, you're off, I'm very off. And then I remember telling her, I forgot what I told her, she was pregnant at the time, I remember that for sure, because she used to scare me with her stomach. But I remember her telling me that, and these words stick with me until today, that when you give your time to the world, you won't be surprised that the world will slap you in the face. You give them everything, and they'll slap you in the face. They won't appreciate anything. And true to that word, yeah, going down the line, I think I did something wrong or something, and then I was like, it was like everything I had done for the school, or everything I had done in general, just, it didn't matter, you know. And at the end of the day, it's only God, the things we do for God that matters. But anyway. I remember that year I even went to prom. Something that even in Lighthouse they tell us not to go to prom, and we hearing about it, we say, if you don't want to go, and I went. And I believe God made me go through it for a reason, because it's made me such more of a real person. Thinking back at it now, it makes me laugh. I guess everything is funny in hindsight, but the height of my backsliding was rebellion. I started rebelling against what my parents had to say, and it came with college applications and stuff like that. I remember, by the grace of God, I wasn't a bad student. I had decent grades, and I was able, by the grace of God, to get a few scholarships, a few full rides to a few schools with the major I wanted to do that would take me. At the time, I knew I wanted to do medicine, and that's still the track I'm on today. And I knew that, yeah, so biology courses, I remember getting full rides to certain schools. And I remember turning all of them down because they were in this, I live in New York, so in the New York area, Massachusetts, Delaware, like that area. So I remember turning all of them down because I didn't want to be close to home. I wanted to go far away. I wanted to run away, be by myself. I chose some school in like northern Michigan. Yeah, and even the school I chose, it wasn't even like a full ride. Like, so I got full rides from these other schools, and then that school, I would have to pay like $30,000. At the time, I didn't even know what $30,000 was. I mean, I was just so idealistic that as soon as I get the money, like as soon as I finish school, I get a job, I pay the loans off, but life isn't like that. But you don't realize that at that age. You don't even know what $30,000 is. Right now, $30,000 scares me. But back then, it was just like, yeah, $30,000 a semester, $60,000 a year, what is that? But, but yeah. I remember I was so adamant, I was so stuck on it, and my friends were telling me, yeah, it's a good opportunity, you should go, college life, yeah, we're moving forward, following friends and stuff like that. My mother said no, she doesn't want me to go. My father says no, it's too far. But I was so bent on having my way, bent on having my way. But I remember denying every other school that accepted me, and I said I sent a letter to the school saying, yeah, I'm going to attend your school in the fall. And when we graduated, by the grace of God, I graduated with honors and everything. I remember Reverend gave me a piece of advice which actually changed my whole everything. You know, he told me that in life you should never make a decision that will block you into a corner or lock you into a corner. And true to that word, you know, that school, if I had gone, you know, would have put me in a corner. Literally, I wouldn't have been able to change my major. I just would have been in that corner 4 years. I mean, it wasn't a very prudent. Now I know it wasn't very wise. But back then, I mean, yeah, I was chilling. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to be on campus. I wanted to be like, you know, what Hollywood makes college look like and everything. So that word he told me stuck with me. It entered my heart, and I remember rethinking it. So I remember in August, I went to my parents and I told them that, okay, I'm not gonna go to this school anymore. I'm gonna stay here in New York. And because I had denied all the schools that had accepted me, I actually ended up going to community college, which even to today, it pained me that I had to go to community college because I graduated with honors. That's not easy. So, yeah, went to community college 2 years. The grace of God. Where am I going? Oh, yeah, through community college, through schooling, being at home, I was able to reconnect with God, have a very strong relationship with God today. And, you know, now that I look back on it, I can honestly say that I think it was the devil who was trying to push me away, trying to separate me from the flock, you know, and put me somewhere else so that he could attack me like the roaring lion that he is, you know. Because now that I think about it, where I am now, and I'm so happy today, where I am now, I wouldn't have been able to be there if I had gone to that school. Probably be some desolate child somewhere, forgetting that he had his roots, so deep roots in the church, because I grew up in this church. My whole life is this church. I would have been somewhere else. And now, by the grace of God, you know, I'm a shepherd. By the grace of God, I can say I'm a field shepherd too, not just... By the grace of God, I'm a field shepherd. Grace of God, I'm in charge of all the shepherds in Manhattan branch. By the grace of God, I'm here. By the grace of God, I attended as many First Love and even adult camps as I can. By the grace of God, I am working in 3 bishop offices. I mean, where would I be, you know, if I didn't have a father who could put such a word in my heart, you know? Oh, Lord, I'm not even thinking more and more on it. I just thank God. I remember when we went to Mission America, they told us to tally up our DMM points, and we were doing the thing and everything. And I remember taking it to Reverend Osei, and he just looked at my list. He's like, "You're fine, cry." He gave me the list, laughed, and told me to go with it. But I took the list and I counted off. I think because we had the actual points, and a few of us were counting in a room. So we were counting off the list, counting off the points, and I realized that I had close to, or maybe a little bit over 1,000 points, and I was like, what does that mean? And they said, you need 700 points, only 700 points to be a pastor. And I was just like, okay. But I wouldn't have been able to reach there if I didn't have a father to put such wisdom in my heart. And, you know, if anybody's watching who is making college decisions right now, you know, it's not always about the glitz and glamour that Hollywood or even your friends make it to seem like, you know. Sometimes it's just better to take the easy road. Because by the grace of God, I'm in my 3rd year now, I'm about to end my 3rd year. I don't have a single debt to my name when it comes to school, because I stayed in state. And, you know, God has just been good. God has just been good. I mean, where I am now, where I used to be, I can honestly say that there is a God and